Okay. So Prakash, I make you the presenter now, and I can able to see your screen. So I'm going on mute. At 10 a.m. you can start your session.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so my name is Prakash, and I just want to let you know that I keep you muted. like if you have any questions, queries, then you can post in the chat or question box, okay, which will appear on your system. We'll be starting soon, and I'm waiting for everyone to join. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. We are already on time. So good morning, everyone. My name is Prakash, and I'll be the DevOps trainer for this DevOps course. And before we deep dive to the session, I would like to give some brief about myself. So I have total 9+ year of experience, and I'm into DevOps from last 5 years, and currently working as a DevOps lead in one of the product-based company. Okay, so I'm like leading a team, and we in my environment we have a number of DevOps tool. So apart from all this thing, I have more than 6+ year of experience in the cloud technologies like AWS, Azure, GCPs. Also, I'm AWS and Azure certified, and also you can say that recently I have completed my Kubernetes certifications as well. So in last few years, like I'm working on multiple DevOps tool like Jenkins, Git, Ansible, Nagios, Docker and Kubernetes, TFS, Octopus, Azure DevOps, okay, and Terraform. So I have strong knowledge on Python, Shell script, and like PowerShell. Okay, currently you can say I'm into design implementation. So like whenever a requirement, whenever we get a requirement from the client, or whenever we want to design a complete new setup. So basically I'll be responsible for all these things. So you can say from very scratch, means like from tool decision to complete end-to-end POC, and then final implementation in the production environment. So like I'm responsible for all these things. Okay. So it's like all about me. Now I'll jump to the topic for which we are here. Okay. So now, like what is DevOps? Okay. So we'll see like what are the method we have in DevOps, what are the tools, what is the concept which we have to follow in the DevOps based CI/CD pipeline. So basically, DevOps is all about the culture, like which promotes collaborations between the development and operations team. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me quickly show you a quick diagram so that you would be able to understand. Okay. Okay. So as you can see on my screen that as a DevOps guy, basically we have to work with development and like operations team. Like you can say DevOps is not all about the tool; is like a culture which we have to follow. Okay, so if we talk about the DevOps, so as you know that generally developers are like responsible for development related activities, and operations teams are like responsible for maintaining the infrastructure. So now where is DevOps? Okay, and why there's a need of DevOps? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so as a DevOps guy, basically we have to create continuous integrations, continuous deployment pipeline, and so that we can release our product very smoothly in the production environment. Okay, so it's like all about the DevOps, and DevOps really help increasing the organization speed, or you can say the faster delivery, which we can easily achieve using the DevOps best practices. So we'll see what is the DevOps in coming slides, and how can we implement all these things. Okay. So now let's get let's see how can we do that, and what actually I mean, what are the benefits of having DevOps based best practices in the production environment. Okay, so as you can see on my screen that using the DevOps based practices, most of the organizations has already improved their software quality. Okay, here like you can say almost 22%, but it's but if you talk about the current market situation, so is nearly 30 more than 30%. So basically, how we have improved the software quality. Okay, so as I said, as a DevOps guy, we will be responsible for pipeline creations and the pipeline management. So here you can see on my screen. So as a DevOps guy, basically what we have to do, we have to introduce some tool through which we can easily increase the software quality. Okay, so basically during the continuous integration process, what we can do, we can introduce Sonar Cube, we can introduce you can say check quality. So basically we will get some sort of report like code coverage report, code quality report, like A grade quality or B grade quality. And as a DevOps guy, what we need to do, we just need to send this report to our developer, so that developer can work on their development activity, and in easily they'll be you can say they'll be notified what are the bugs on which they have to work on, and how can we improve the quality. So basically using the DevOps based best practices, we already have achieved the software quality, and most of the companies are trying to implement some you can say code quality, code coverage related tools, so that the software quality will be improved. Okay, now if you talk about the deployment processes. Okay, so you can see on my screen that here the CD portions, like continuous delivery portions, is basically all about the deployment, how we can release our product, how smoothly we can release our product. So as you can see on my screen, basically whenever we talk about the deployment or release, so here we just need to understand we can simply compare the agile methodology or waterfall methodology with DevOps. So basically you would be able to understand why DevOps has increased the, you can say how we have easily like how we have improved the development processes or release processes. Okay, so here basically the old processes are like agile and waterfall. So if we talk about waterfall, so in waterfall basically it takes, you can say, more than 1 year to release a product. Okay, and sometimes requirement is we will get a different requirement and we deliver a complete different product. So there was a gap which we have to fulfill. So next, in waterfall, basically there was a continuous development, but as such, CI means continuous integration and continuous deployment was not there. Okay. So next, we have agile method, which we can which we can improve the releases. So still, agile is like all about the continuous development and continuous integrations. Means using agile methodology, we can easily integrate some tools. We can easily integrate all the test cases. We can improve the code quality by implementing Sonar. But if we talk about the deployment process, so again we need to deploy manually, or maybe you can say the deployment was not frequently. So now using the DevOps best practices, what we have done. So we have a concept of CD portions, like CI was already there, and using the combination of continuous integration and continuous delivery, we can smoothly release our packages. So as you can see on my screen, that on daily basis we can deploy in release in dev environment. So now if you compare if you compare or if you as per example, then Google, Amazon, Facebook, they're the really best example. On daily basis, they releases all the changes in the production environment. Also, you can see and like most of the time or every day we get updates from Google or Facebook. So basically, using the DevOps best practices, they already have improved the deployment processes. So if we talk about the deployment, okay, so we'll see how can we deploy and what are the tools through which we can simply improve the deployment on daily basis, or how can we improve the on in very frequently. Okay, means like in minutes of second you can deploy packages. Once your package is ready, deploy to dev, do some sort of testing, then deploy to QA, get some approval, and once all the stakeholders are okay, then you can simply release your product in the production environment. So DevOps is already, you can say, using the DevOps based best practices, we already have achieved the deployment process. Now, next we have is a customer satisfaction. So as you know that whenever we release our product, okay, so basically customer gonna access our product from the production environment and consider there was a bug, okay, and maybe there was a bug, or they just want to improve, they just want to uh, they just want some more features. So how easily we can get the customer satisfaction, or how can we improve the customer satisfaction? So now again, as I said, DevOps is all about the tools actually. Okay, so here you can see we have a code repositories and we have a developer, and basically now what we can do as a DevOps engineer, we'll get the requirement, okay, and we'll simply pass it to the developer, and developer will work on that features, or maybe you can say bug fixes or a new feature, new functionality, and then DevOps will come in picture. And once we have updated code, uh, so in DevOps based pipeline, we might need some source code repository like GitHub. And once we integrate the continuous integration processes using the Jenkins, we can integrate all the test cases. And once our artifact is ready, we can simply, you can say, we can upload that artifact to Artifactory Manager, and at last we can release our product in just few hours only. Okay. So now customer will be happy because they are getting that functionality. The bug is already fixed. Okay, and this is how like DevOps is really helping us to get the customer satisfaction. Okay, and at last, like the revenue high. So basically now customer can focus on different applications, different businesses. Though we are releasing our product very frequently, so now our client, or you can say company, has the time to work on different features, different applications. Okay, so business is all about the revenue. Okay, and once we have different applications, definitely the revenue will be there in a very good amount. So already the companies has achieved more than 19% in their revenue hike on yearly basis, and really DevOps is helping all these things. That's why DevOps, everyone want DevOps culture, everyone want DevOps engineer, okay, DevOps consultant, so companies can focus on all these things. Okay, that's why DevOps is in demand right now, and DevOps is one of the, you can say, key technology which everyone want to adopt. So if we talk about the AI, ML, AWS, or Azure, or maybe Python, so DevOps is everywhere. Okay, that's why DevOps engineers or DevOps culture are in huge demand. Okay, so let's see uh, why we have to follow the DevOps best practices. So as I said, the pipeline creation is not that tough actually. Okay, it's really simple. But if you're not following the best practices, in that case we're gonna suffer. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. This is one of the, you can say, best slide or best tool which we're gonna cover. So here I have added Docker and Kubernetes. So you might have heard about the microservices. Most of the customers are trying. I mean, if they have any monolithic applications, so they are just trying to convert their monolithic applications to the microservices, so that we can simply create Docker-based images and we can run on the Kubernetes clusters. So this is what you can say one of my best tool, or my really favorite tools, and the DevOps based. So let's see why DevOps is really important. Okay, so here, software development. Now, as I said, once we have a lot of once we have time, now developer can the developer has already all the report like bug fixes, code quality, code coverage, so they can work on those functionality, and the development will be really faster, and we can simply, you can say, we can simply replace or reduce the development cycle. Okay, and reduce deployment failures, because using the DevOps best practices, we can integrate some sort of tools which will help us to provide, you can say, uh, which will help us to release our product very frequently. So like one of the best example is Jenkins, Ansible, and Octopus. So there are number of deployment related tool, and using this tool, what we can do, we can frequently deploy in the dev, production, and QA environments on the demand basis. And the rollback, so here you can see on my screen, there is a concept of like JFrog. Okay, so basically JFrog is nothing but like that artifactory manager, where we can upload number of artifacts like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and when we have a number of artifact on the demand basis, we can releases any version. Okay, uh, also here you can see, if we talk about the Kubernetes based pipeline, so once our Docker based image is ready, we can simply upload it to particular private registry, and this is nothing but like again version in the backend, it will maintain all the versions, and on demand basis we can releases any version to the production environment. Okay. So the rollback, the failure is, you can say, using the DevOps best practices, we can work on these two things. Okay, and improve the collaborations communication. So as I already said, DevOps is all about the culture which we have to follow. So as a DevOps guy, basically you will get a chance to work with different teams. Okay, and on daily basis you might get chance to interact with the development team and operations team, and you will try to find out daily their issues, and you can work on those issues. So using the DevOps best practices, we already have improved the communication. So now, again, what we can do to improve the communications, or you can say some sort of reporting things which we have to work on. So in DevOps, basically, again, we can integrate Jira. Okay, we'll see how can we do that during the classes. So we will simply integrate Jira and Nagios with the Jenkins, and on daily basis, if something goes wrong with your build or releases, we'll get a notifications. Okay, so the communication is already improved using the DevOps best practices, and increase the like efficiency. So as you know that we are talking about the deployment, okay, on the frequently basis. So we already have increases all the efficiencies, because we can work on new features, okay, rather than fixing the failures, and reduced cost. So now, using the DevOps based culture, we can simply we don't need much servers. Okay. So first of all, we'll try to see how can we reduce the cost, something related to infra. Okay. So here you can see on my screen that Kubernetes and Docker are the tools where we can have number of applications. Okay, means you can run hundreds of applications on a Kubernetes clusters. So now you don't need hardware. You don't need to work on the software basis. You can simply have one clusters, and in the same cluster you can deploy. You can run your hundreds of applications. So the if we talk about the infra cost, so already using the DevOps best practices, we have removed that thing. Okay, now we can work on the tool, not on the hardware portions. Means we don't need to work on the capex. Okay, now, so as I said, DevOps is really helping us, and that's why everyone want to adopt everyone want to adopt DevOps best practices. And we'll see during the classes, how can we achieve all these things, and will adopt each and everything from very scratch. Okay, so as you know that like DevOps is all about the collaborations. So developer will be working on the development related activities, and we in CI/CD pipeline, we might need some testers basically who will be responsible for all writing all the test cases, and at last we just need to integrate all the test cases and development. So let me do one thing. Let me show you a diagram so you'll be able to understand. Okay. So what we can do, we can add one more guy like a tester, basically who will be responsible for writing all the test cases, and a developer. So whenever we are working in a collaborations, okay, uh, as a DevOps guy, we have to write some sort of DevOps related files like Jenkins file, Docker file, and then along with the code, we can push to a particular repository. Okay, so is all about the integrations which we can integrate on daily basis, and deployment. So the release portion will come in picture, and monitoring. So we'll see Grafana and Nagios to monitor all the applications, as well as the application as well as the hardware portions like virtual machines, Kubernetes clusters and all. If we talk about the tool portions, so in Ethans, we'll see, or during the classes, we'll see what are the tools, and you can say will create number of DevOps based pipeline on the cloud, and is on the cloud, especially uh, AWS and Azure cloud. Okay, this clouds are, you can say, completely free for 1 year, and we can create number of resources as per our demand basis. So as a DevOps engineer, basically you should be good in the cloud portions, and don't worry, I'll cover that AWS and Azure, as well as we'll do one lab on GCP as well. So you can write all the three clouds in your resume, and then you can then you can expect a really good amount of hype. Okay. So next is like CI/CD with the cloud. So we're gonna adopt the best practices and the culture, or this one in real time. Okay, and the Git version control. So now we have to work on the version control. Like we in the if you talk about the development, or if you take an example of your resume. So once you learn a tool, you add that you mention that tool in your resume. You can add that tool in your resume. If you learn Python, Java, or any other, you can say languages, or if you're working on different tool stacks, so on daily basis you can update your version. So at then you'll be having number of versions. Okay. How can you maintain, or how can you go back to your previous versions? So basically Git is a tool through which we can achieve the version controlling. Now in real time, if you talk about the real time, so in real time developers our developer works on different development related activity. Okay, and if they want to go back to the any previous version, so using the Git they can do that. Okay, so in DevOps based pipeline, again we need a tool through which we can achieve the version control. And CI with the Jenkins. So CI stands for continuous integrations. Okay, so basically CI will be there all time. So again is nothing but like a continuous integration tool, and there are around 1,000 plus plugins, so you can integrate Jenkins with any tool. Okay, again as per the demand basis. And then Terraform. So basically how can we create all the infrastructures? Means if I want, let's talk about this one. Let's say we have hundreds of instances. Instances are nothing but like VM. Okay, let's say we have hundreds of instances in Dev. Okay, and 200 in QA, and 500 in productions. So next question is, how can we create those? How can we create these 800 instances? if you're talking about manual activity, so again it will take time, and we just talk about the time. Time is again a money, and so we'll try to see how can we automate the process. So here the best tool is Terraform. Okay, so Terraform is nothing but like a provisioning tool, in sort of you can say configuration management tool as well. So using the Terraform, we can provision hundreds of cloud-based resources. Also, if your environment is based on premises, then again using the Terraform script, you can provision a very big environment. Okay, maybe in few minutes or seconds. We'll see how can we do that. So again, in Terraform, we have to write some script. Okay, is a again HCL based script, so which we'll see during the classes. And the next is Ansible. So once instances are ready, okay, using the Terraform, we can do that. And once our instances are ready, next we need to think about the configurations. How can we configure? So basically, configuration means let's an example. I want to patch my system. Okay, patch is nothing but like you can say updating your system. So I want to patch those 800 instances. Later on, I want to install some tool. Okay, maybe like Tomcat on top of. It is just an example. Maybe you can think about Python, Java, and so on. So if you want to configure those things, how can you do that? Again, manual we cannot, because again it's a time-taking process, and if you forget something, or if there's a mismatch in the version, we will be in problem. So we need we have to think about some configuration management tool. So we already have achieved instance creation. We already have achieved the instance creations in automated way using the Terraform. Now we'll think about the configurations. Okay, or maybe you can say deployment as well. So basically Ansible is a tool, is nothing but configuration management tool, and using the Ansible we can patch our systems, we can configure it, we can deploy, we can provision, we can do a number of operations. Okay, so basically Ansible is a configuration management tool. Okay, and the most important tools are Docker and Kubernetes right now in market. Okay, and most of the companies, you can say, they just want to adopt Docker and Kubernetes based pipeline. And I have written number of articles, okay, on the Docker and Kubernetes. So here you can see on my screen that the Docker Jenkins CI/CD integration. So I have posted an article on Medium website, and these are some only few you can say links which I'm showing you right now. Apart from this, I'm also, you can say, blog writer. Okay, so I have written number of articles on Docker and Kubernetes. So Docker, basically you can say it combine all the it combine your application along with dependency, and it will provide you a platform where you can run your application in an isolated way. Okay, so as a DevOps guy, basically what you have to do, okay, and how can you work or how can you adopt microservices or Docker based culture in your environment. So as a DevOps guy, we'll be responsible for some file like Docker file. Okay, I'll show you in a pic. Yeah. So as a DevOps guy, here you can see on my screen, as a DevOps guy, basically we have to write some Docker file, which will contain all the instructions. Okay, like what the base images you want, what the library you have. So as I said, on daily basis we interact with developer. Okay, DevOps is all about the interactions between your development and operations team. So basically what the informations we get on daily basis. So the Docker file, it will contain some instructions which will get from development, for example port number, project versions, code versions, and some sort of binary and library files. Okay, uh, as well as the dependencies on which my project is depend on. So here you can see that the Docker file will contain all the instructions which will get the information from our development team. Okay, so next is using the Jenkins, basically, again, you can see on my screen that there are some commands. So we'll see what are the commands and how can we create some Docker based applications, okay, and how can we run those as a microservices in this way. So once we integrate it with Jenkins, we'll see how can we maintain different versions of images. So here you can see we have concept of Docker registry, and we'll try to implement private registry which organizations want right now. Okay. So that we have concept of DTR, and basically again we just need to make sure that stamping will be there, our image will be secure. So as a DevOps guy, we'll see how can we do that using the Agua. Okay, and the next is the Kubernetes. So once your images are ready, Docker based images are ready, next you can see there is a file called KTS file. Okay, also you can see on my screen that along with the code, as a DevOps guy, we have to write k8s.yaml file. So this is nothing but a Kubernetes file which will contain all the instructions, means what type of image we want, and okay. Again, it will contain some instructions, means number of your applications, scaling policies, maybe rollback policies, and all these things. So it will again is kind of some sort of information which we need to write as a DevOps guy. And at last, from the continuous integration portion, so once we integrate it with Jenkins, okay, next we just need to send that instructions to the Kubernetes clusters. Okay, so we'll see how can we do that in real time. Okay, so these are some tools which I'll be covering, and at last, Grafana. So again, as I said, DevOps is all about integrations. Okay, so once your environment is ready, how can you monitor your system? Okay, in the backend, you need to monitor your systems, you need to monitor your applications. So Grafana is a tool through which we can monitor, as well as we can take some actions. Okay, for example, if your services is down, so it should start in an automated way. So as a DevOps guy, what we have to write some script. Okay, so here automation will come in picture. Okay, and we'll see shell script, Python script. Okay, to write those plugins, and will integrate it with our DevOps based pipeline, okay, CI/CD pipeline. So these are some tools which I'll be covering during the classes. So basically, if we talk about the job, so who can apply, or what are the scope you have as a DevOps? So right now, if we talk about the release manager, okay, so again, the complete deployment process, complete the releases is happening through the release manager. So basically, they'll be responsible for planning and software lifecycle management when we can release, maybe on the daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or quarterly basis. So we need to plan accordingly. Okay, so again, release managers is again kind of DevOps managers. Then develop like DevOps lead. So currently I'm working as a DevOps lead. So basically DevOps leads are responsible for tool decisions. Actually, they are the guy who help us. You can say that they are the key actor in DevOps, or the key persons in the DevOps who can help us to create that pipeline, as well as the tool dependencies, tool versions, and all the integrations. So basically, you will get chance to work on number of tools. Okay, and you can propose certain new pipeline. You can propose new tools as per your requirement basis. And DevOps automation expert. So now we talk about Prometheus. Okay, we talk about the Grafana, we talk about Ansible, we talk about Terraform. So the next is automation expert. So at the end, now once your environment is ready, again in the backend you need some kind of scripting knowledge. Okay, so automation experts are really, you can say, really required. So as a DevOps guy, or maybe you can say as a DevOps automation expert, you can write Groovy, you can write the releases and build related instructions for the Jenkins, and then Kubernetes manifest file, so that your environment will be up and ready all the time. And then you can write Ansible or Grafana related scripts. Okay, so automations, these are nothing but like some automation sort of tools. which you have to work on. And DevOps testing professional. So we talk about the integration. So during the Jenkins integrations, we have to write some test related script which can be executed on the runtime. Okay, so basically Selenium, JUnit, and as a DevOps guy, we can do all these things. And at last, like DevOps architects, basically they'll be working on different tools and number of services. And DevOps engineers, so again, they are nothing but like similar to the DevOps lead. And as a DevOps engineer, basically you just need to learn number of tools, and you will get chance to implement all this tool integrations and all. And security professional. So DevOps is basically a combination of three words: Dev, Sec, and Ops. So Dev, Sec is nothing but like security. Okay. So as a security professional or DevSec professional, you'll be responsible for all, managing all the securities, because your environment is really vulnerable. If something goes wrong with your production environment here, then everything gone. Okay, so again, make sure that we implement all the best practices, and we'll see how can we do that. Okay, during the classes. So as I said, Jenkins is like our primary tool. We can use it for continuous integrations. Okay, we can deploy. We can integrate it. We can create number of projects. We'll see Groovy languages. Okay, and why Jenkins is very popular, because we have we have 1,000 plus plugins. Means you can you just name it and the plugin will be there. If the plugin is not there, for example, if tool is your custom tools, or okay, in that case you can write your custom plugins in the Python or shell script. And basically using the Jenkins, we can achieve the building portions, we can deploy very frequently, and we can automate all the stuffs. So that's why Jenkins is very popular tool. Is kind of old tool which we cannot forget. Okay, and again is really interesting, and is, you can say, is kind of heart of your DevOps based pipeline. And then next we have Git. Okay, so as I said, where we can upload all the code and how can we achieve the versioning. So Git follows a concept of distributed version control, and we'll see how can we migrate. And most of the companies are trying to migrate their code from old you can say control system to the Git distributed version control. So maybe if you I mean, you will get a chance, and during the classes we'll see how can we move, or how can we migrate the code from one source code to another source code repository. So Git is the version control, and in the classes we need some sort of like version control repositories. So we're gonna use GitLab and GitHub as a source code management. And then next we have Ansible. So Ansible is all about you can say playbook. Okay, and the playbook can be written in the YAML. We'll see how can we write the YAML. Basically is nothing but like a configuration management and provisioning tool. So as a DevOps guy, you have to write Ansible rules, Ansible playbook, and then playbook will contain some sort of instructions, okay, which you want to perform on requirement basis. Okay, for example, Java installations or Java upgradations or Java removal kind of. So again, they are nothing but like a task. Okay, so Ansible contains place, and the play contains task. Okay, what you want to perform. So using the Ansible, you can achieve the complete automation. And then we talk about the Terraform as well. So again, in the DevOps based pipeline, we can write Hezicop language, HCL, you can say HCL based script, okay, which will help us to provision our environment on the frequently basis. Okay, so we just need to change in the script, and we will be having a new person. Okay. So we'll see how can we integrate in the CI/CD pipeline. And then the most important tools are in market right now is like Docker and Kubernetes. So they are nothing but like some sort of platform where we can run our applications, and we'll see. Basically, we'll talk about the complete flow. Okay, how can we how can we create Docker based repositories. Basically we'll be responsible for managing all the securities in Docker, and we'll try to run number of application in an isolated way. We'll see how can we run applications in the productions. Okay, once we have Docker or once we have microservices based architecture, and how can we like portable one application from one system to another system. And the most important tool in the market is Kubernetes. And you can say, guys, Kubernetes are nothing but like a future. Okay. And if you're a good if you're expert in Kubernetes, you can expect 100% of hype. You can expect around 30, 40, 50 lakhs. Okay, right now in India. So yes, Kubernetes has that feature, or Kubernetes has that capability. Okay, so yeah, I'm Kubernetes certified, and as I said, that I already have a number of blogs on Kubernetes. So Kubernetes are really in demand right now. Okay, why? Because once you have Kubernetes clusters, you don't require any sort of other tools. Means in the Kubernetes clusters, you can have you can have a pod, or you can say applications. You can run a Jenkins based applications. You can run a Docker registry based application. You can run a JFrog related applications. You can run Grafana related like application. So once here you can see I have written a concept of pod. So pod are nothing but like you can say a unit which we can deploy. So we'll see how can we create pod, how can we run applications, and how can we combine all the microservices in a single pod, so our end users can access very easily. Okay. Uh, so there are a number of advantages. Okay, which we can work on. Okay, and then next we have like Grafana. So again, kind of monitoring tool which we can introduce or adopt in DevOps based culture. So our classes will be completely, you can say, online and offline basis. Also, we will provide you recordings. So as per your demand, you can watch those videos later on. And if you talk about the duration, so we try to finish it within 12 weeks. Sometime it may extend. Okay, depends on you and me. Means if you have some questions, then you can ask. Okay. Guys, you can see a question chat box. So if you have any questions, you can post here. I'll I'll try to answer your questions. Okay. So you can, if you are joining from home, then you can we'll share the webinar link, and from home itself you can join. So again, DevOps is really helping in all the aspects. Okay, uh, and DevOps is really you can say our session would be based on the practical related things. So usually I share my code in repositories. Will create number of slides. I'll create a number of, you can say, notepad which I'm going to share, as well as I have created some. I'll show you. I created number of interview questions which will really help you to answer during the interviews. So like roles and responsibilities of DevOps guy and your day-to-day activities. Okay. Also I have mentioned all the answers as well. So it will really help you to crack the interview. And I'm pretty sure that at the end of class, at the end of like our class course, you will be having 3 to 4 offers. Okay, that I can guarantee, but make sure that you do my all the assignment. So usually I share my assignments on the AWS S3. Okay, so I'll try to share a link which contains all the assignments. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that if you complete all the assignment, definitely you can crack interview very easily. Okay, and then At the end, we will be you can ask questions at any time. Maybe I'll be available on WhatsApp. So once I'll free, I'll try to reply it. You can ping me on the personal basis or maybe in a group. Okay, once we begin our classes, we'll create a WhatsApp group, and then you can post your questions on the group as well. And assign I'll be available. Also, we have a team, dedicated team, which will help you to, you can say, answer your queries. And also, so I have a lot of, you can say, connections network. So usually I post, you can say, job assistant in the group as a group itself. So you can share your resume with me, or you can share your resume with my networks. So definitely I'm going to help you to get a DevOps job. And most of the, you can say, classroom session will be depend on the real time examples. Okay, once we jump into the deep dive session, we'll create our own project. Okay, and we'll try to implement all these things, as well as I give assignments, so you can ask any questions. Okay, also, I'll suggest you to take an example of your current environment, and if you can adopt DevOps best practices, or if you can adopt the DevOps culture in your current environment, that will help. Also, I'll share this PPT as well. So PPT as well. So questions are already there. Like, the number of questions are already there. So I have divided questions based on the tool. Okay, and also you can say I have mentioned answers as well as in the slide itself. Okay, so I'll share all these things with you during the classes. So we have classes in the Pune, Saudagar, Kharadi. But if you are joining from home, then you can join from any locations. We don't have any issue. If you talk about the online sessions, then Pimple, Saudagar, Kharadi, and Baner are the locations. And basically, I'm responsible for Pimple, Saudagar office only. Okay. So now, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Prakash. Many
Uh,
students have, yeah, Prakash.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
Jatin.
so everybody is on mute. So many people have asked the question through question window. I try to reply multiple questions, but if you can able to handle those questions, that would be really great.
Sure, Jatin. Uh, okay.
You able to see the question panel?
I'll hide it right now. Jatin, can you post those questions in to me?
Okay. Just give me a second. So I post the questions one by one.
Yeah, sure.
So Shridhar is having a question. Just a minute. Okay, here we go. So Shridhar is having a question. Is there is any prerequisite of programming knowledge, programming language knowledge to start with DevOps?
Okay. Hello. Hi. So programming related knowledge. So as such, no, because as I said, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, during the Jenkins session, we'll try to you can say the Groovy is the language, okay, in which we can write our Jenkins file. Okay, so Groovy I'll be covering during the classes, as well as the YAML portions. So the Kubernetes manifest file and then Ansible playbook is simply written in the YAML. So we'll see during the classes. And next we have like Hezikop language, HCL language. So during the Terraform sessions, we'll implement those things, as well as the self-scripting portions. Okay, so you don't worry, because for the automations, we will write all the script in the self. So as such, no programming language is required. But if you're good in Python, or if you have some sort of, you can say, basic understanding of Python, really good.
Okay. So there's a second question from Priya, and she was saying that I belongs to an instrumental background. So how DevOps is gonna be helpful for me, or whether I can able to change a career or not?
Hey Priya, so your question is like, you're from instrumentation background. So no worry, Priya. Right now, DevOps, you can say DevOps is all about the tool culture. So if you are from different background, no worries, because in DevOps we have different you can say project or different requirement. So yeah, you can definitely join the DevOps course. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a question from
Uh,
Shyam. He was saying that which cloud environment we are using during the DevOps class.
Hey Shyam, so we'll do all the lab on AWS cloud, and I'll be covering one CI/CD pipeline on Azure as well as on GCP as well.
Okay. So the next question is from Anup. Do you have any prerequisite for DevOps?
No, Anu. If you are good in, you can say, basic understanding, maybe scripting or system related, that will really. Yeah, and as well as Linux basic command. Yeah.
Okay. So there is one more question is CKA, which is a Kubernetes certification exam.
Yeah.
Are we able to cover this certification after completion of this process?
Yes, yes. So, okay, as I said, Kubernetes, Docker and Kubernetes are really, you can say, are in huge demand right now, and our focus would be on these two tools only. So, at the end of course, definitely you can go for either Kubernetes CKAD or CAD certifications.
Okay. So there's a question from Sridhar again. I think this is a repeated question. So it says that do I require, okay, I have completed Python knowledge. I have completed Python training. Um so do you require Python and DevOps, something like that?
Okay, so for automation related activities, you can write those script in Python. So yes, Python knowledge is it will help you to you can say in the automation portions.
Okay. So there is an interesting question from Pankaj. He said that how much experience we can show into your resume after completion of this class.
So hey Pankaj, 3 to 4 years as a DevOps guy.
Okay, that's wonderful. I mentioned 2 years, so you are more positive about
Uh,
it.
so okay, so basically I'll be covering number of tools, CI/CD portions. Okay, so if you actually look, I mean, if you check my PPT, I'll show you one thing. Me open last PPT. So basically, I have mentioned all the. Yeah. Okay. Yes. You can see on my screen that I'll be covering 9 CI/CD project. And if you mention 9 project, then you can like so as a 3 or 4 year, 5 up to 5 year as a DevOps guy. Okay, so it will really help you, because if we talk about the real time scenarios, so no one works on all the tools, but during you can say next 2 to 3 months, we will try to implement all these things. So you can mention up to 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so there's a question from Puneet as well. So he is asking whether Node.js or AngularJS questions to be asked in an interview, in a DevOps interview.
Hey Puneet, so no. So the DevOps is all about the tool, and the questions will be from, you can say, DevOps related tools only. Okay, so like maybe provisioning, configuration management, integrations, cloud, and configuration management related, not from the Node.js.
Okay. So other questions are repeated. So I just skip them out. So I think there is one question from Amol. He say, what are the different tools you are covering in this course? So I think you have already mentioned in this slide. So it is answerable now.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a question from Pankaj Budale. He say, can you introduce yourself? So Pankaj, do you want my introduction or do you want Prakash introduction? So Prakash has already introduced himself during the start of a class, and I don't require any kind of an introduction because I'm just a coordinator here who is coordinating between you guys and Prakash. So in case if you want Prakash introduction, you can ask him again. So there is one more question. Uh, okay, from Puneet. Independent hands-on practice do you provide? I'm not able to understand this question. So might be his question, Prakash, would be how much
Assignment
labs?
maybe.
Yeah, how much lab session you are
Yeah.
doing in this?
Okay, so hey Pankaj. So it completely depends. So if we talk about the Ansible, so during the Ansible classes, we'll be covering almost 35 plus assignments. Okay, if we talk about the Docker and Kubernetes, so in Docker almost 20 plus assignments. Okay, 20 plus labs. If we talk about the Jenkins, so we'll be covering almost 6 pipeline in Jenkins itself. So don't worry about the assignment, don't worry about the lab session because uh, is all about the, you can say, deep advanced level of training which we are providing you right now.
Okay, so that's wonderful. I think I should move to a next question, which is raised by Mega. So she's asking a question. Do we cover Helm? I think Helm is the package manager for Kubernetes,
Yes,
and
correct.
Isto is I'm just guessing because I am not a DevOps guy, so I'm guessing that while searching for the net, it's a testing kind of a testing something related to that. So do we cover Helm and Isto in these sessions?
Okay, so hi, ma'am. So yes, Helm will be there. So basically for package management. Okay, so once we have Kubernetes based manifest file, so at the end we need a package repository from where we can fetch those packages. So Helm will be there. And if we talk about the STU, okay, so I'll be covering STU portions as well because STU is nothing but like a service mesh, and as I said, is all about the advanced level training. Okay, so whenever we run our applications or whenever we have microservices in Kubernetes based architecture, so basically at the end we need to make sure that all the services can talk to each other very smoothly, and service mesh will come in picture. So using the STU we can do that. So yes, STU will be.
Okay. So there is a question from Sonali. She says hi to Prakash. So maybe there is no question as such. So it is a hi from her. So there is a next question from Sonali again. She's saying that I am working as a technical delivery manager and want to learn DevOps to change my job. Technical delivery manager and she want to change her job. Okay. So will this DevOps course will be helpful for her?
Yes, why not? Because you can simply apply for DevOps architect, okay, or DevOps manager post. And using the DevOps, you can say DevOps architect or DevOps manager opportunities. Definitely, you will get a chance to work on all the tools, and though you can say you'll be part of tool decision making, and as per your understanding, as per your knowledge, you can suggest tools, you can propose tool, and you can create your own pipeline. So definitely, yes, chances are there, and then you can apply for DevOps architect or manager.
Okay. So there is a question from Sanjay, which I think I can able to answer this question. So who will take classes in Kharadi? So Sanjay, we have a different set of trainers who is handling the trainings in Kharadi, but currently at this moment, we are focusing completely on online classes because of our lockdown issues, and we are not sure when this is supposed to be a normal. So at this moment, I would say in April, we are completely focused on an online training. We haven't decided when we have to start these DevOps classes online, but definitely sooner or later we have to do it. So the communication will be sent to each and every student via email as well as through a call. So, and we are launching it very aggressive pricing as well. So I think wait till then, and you will get to know about it when we are going to start this batch and who is going to provide these classes. But again, I would say that it is gonna be a very professional, as well as it will be handled by a professional trainer who can able to deliver the session in a very good way. So I hope that I answered this question. Uh, Again, Sonali is having a question, so I think I have already covered that part. That we should expect that you should have a Linux understanding, a basic Linux understanding for this course, so that you can proceed further with that. So there is a question from Puneet. He is asking that what is the R-wise distribution to all 9 tools? So I think I can able to answer this question as well. So Puneet, the things are already available in a website. So if you go to ethans.co.in, which is an official website of Python, what we have done is we have written all the tools which we are going to cover in a class. Along with that, we have also mentioned the number of hours we are going to spend in each and every tool, along with the lab session, and the project description is also mentioned over here. So as you know that there is no limit of how deep we can go with each and every tool. So we have decided that how much required as per the industry standard. So we discussed with a lot of our clients as well as students before making this course, because this course is designed by the professional. So if you can just look into the course labels which is available on a website, we have divided each and every hour durations over there, how much time we are going to spend. And I think that is very much enough to crack any of the DevOps interview which is mentioned in a slide. I think that I hope uh, this question. So there is another question from Gaurav. Looking at the current situation, what are your plans to start with the course delivery? Gaurav, to answer this question, as I already mentioned, that currently we are into lockdown phase, so we are not opening our institutes. But yes, we do have a plans to launch this online DevOps classes. But currently, we have other priorities to perform. So we are launching with Python batch, which is starting from Monday. We are launching a data science batch, which is starting from Tuesday. We are launching the AWS batch, which is starting from Thursday, and probably this DevOps will come next week. So stay tuned with us. We send the communication, the email communication, as well as the phone communication to each and every student. Based on that, you can able to take a decision and join the course accordingly. Okay, so Abhishek is asking a question: who is the trainer of this course and an experience? I joined late this webinar. So Abhishek, again, I should answer this question rather than Prakash answer this question. Who is the trainer of this batch? Now, whoever the trainer of this batch, Abhishek, he should be experienced enough to handle your queries as well as to provide you best knowledge of DevOps. Whoever, like, we have total 9 DevOps trainer at this moment in all the 4 branches, and they all are capable enough to handle your queries as well as your doubts. They have a minimum average experience of around 9 years. So Prakash is delivering this demonstration class doesn't mean that he is going to be become your trainer. So we have to allocate the trainer accordingly later on. But the whole point is we are running this demonstration series to just tell you out that what we are offering to the student and how we are going to offer to the student. So that's a whole perspective. 99% chances are there that Prakash is going to be a trainer for you, but it is not yet decided. We have to take a decisions later on based on a discussion as well as the ability of a trainer as well, because currently Prakash is taking 3 online batches and they are running on weekends. So we need to discuss about the ability of a trainer, and based on that we have to allocate it. Okay, and duration of the course. So duration is already mentioned in a slides. So it takes approximately 72 hours if you go to the classroom program. But classroom program, as We require a lot of time to resolve your issues, what they're handling the questions. If you're moving to online, definitely the time will reduce to complete the course. Okay. So the question from Abhilasha, how soon we can apply once we complete the course? Do you want to answer this question, Prakash? How soon she can apply for a job after completion of this course?
Okay, so during the course itself, you can apply for the jobs. I would suggest that you update your resume after 1 month and then start looking for change. So within, you can say, before we finish our course, you will be having a job in your hand.
That's really a very great question. I should answer this question as well, Prakash. So I remember I was having a discussion with Prakash offline, and I got a very good stats about his batches that almost 30 to 40% of the student got placed even before completion of a class. So how this is possible actually? Because DevOps is a combination of multiple tools. So let's say if the company require only Jenkins, Sensible, and Linux, this part has been already completed in a class. So you can start applying for a job. So what we really suggest is after completion of only a month, if you're going to offline classes, or after a month, you can start working out on a job prospective, complete your resume with the help of the team over here at Ethans, as well as uh, complete your online optimization of profile and start applying for a job. And we have seen, as per our stats, we have seen that 30 to 40% of the people got a job even before they complete the classes. So after completion of a classes, definitely you should move around with the market and perform it very well. But even though before completion of the training itself, you should start looking for a job. So I hope this I answer this question. So there's a question from Anup. Do you provide labs for practicing all these things? So Anup, I should answer this question again. I don't want if I can not able to answer, then only I can engage Prakash. So labs we are providing the cloud environment. So the very first class which is gonna be happening over here is on Linux basics and followed by a cloud setup. So either you have to do the cloud setup on Microsoft Azure or you have to do the cloud setup on AWS. And this cloud setup will again be with you, and all the tools installation you can do directly on the cloud setup. So this how you can able to perform the labs. There is a question from Abhilasha. Do you have weekend tuition sessions? Yes, Abhilasha, we have both weekdays as well as weekend. Weekend we are running very aggressively. We have 4 batches: 8 to 11, 11 to 2, 2 to 5, and 5 to 8. These are the 4 batches. Now I'm talking about an offline batches, a classroom program. Online program, if we are going to launch, we are going to launch definitely weekdays, Monday to Friday, so that every day we can at least get your 1.5 to 2 hours every day, so that in 1 month we will be in one or not 1 month, I would say 1.5 months we are ready with the DevOps profile. Okay, there's a question from Abhishek. Again, you can answer this. I should give rest to my throat. This is the question from Abhishek Prakash. I sent you the question. Prakash, do you able to see that?
No, Jatin, can you please read question for me?
Okay. So you say I am from an application background, application support background. So I'm expecting that he is L3 and L4 for on-premises servers and don't have any cloud background. So he's do I need to review cloud before joining the class?
Hello, Pankaj. So as such, not required, but because we'll be covering AWS portions here as well. But if you're looking for only cloud-based classes, then definitely I would suggest you to go through the AWS or Azure courses as well. So it will really help you to, you can say, implement DevOps-based best practices in the cloud environment.
Okay. So let me answer this question again. Abhishek, normally what the stack we are using over here, if you are looking towards a complete DevOps architect, Then how we can provide the career guidance over here? The first, we can proceed further with the AWS or Microsoft Azure certification. So either you can apply for a AWS certification, either you can apply for a Microsoft Azure certification. Though we have GCP as well, but we recommend more AWS and Azure. That's the very first thing. Once you complete the certification, then you can go with DevOps. DevOps is talking about different kind of tools which are available over here. This is what we are discussing about is DevOps. Once you complete DevOps, then you can move further into Python. So three are different technologies. They're a part of a same stack. But these three technologies will be very helpful for cracking any kind of an interviews in future. Because this is completely a technology which is gonna be there for next 10 years, I would say. So this is how you can learn. You can learn AWS, DevOps, and Python to become a complete understanding of the CI/CD stack. But again, it's not compulsory that you can do AWS and Python, because as I said that I have seen multiple students at Ethans who have completed a course, only DevOps course, they can able to apply a job. But as you ask a question that if you want to proceed further with a complete stack, then this is the recommended technologies to proceed further. Okay, so this is again a question from Priya. I have a gap of 4 years and belongs to an instrumental background. So can I get a job in DevOps as a fresher? So maybe I can answer this question. So Priya, in short, I would say yes, because I don't want to any kind of a demotivation to you. I said simply yes. It completely depends upon your work, hard work you are going to put in a class. If you are well versed towards the technology, if you understand the technology very good, if you can able to crack an interview going into the market, nobody can able to stop you. But if you doubt yourself, if you don't understand the technology, if you are not getting the 100% of a classes, then it will really difficult for you. So in short, if I can say, if you have any kind of because I have seen that most of the students, they came after maternity leave, almost 3-4 years of gap. They learn the technologies and again go back to the market and search for a job very good in a very good way. So this is how we can look further into our career. If we want to learn something, we should not restrict ourselves to putting out excuses out of it. Just learn it, learn of the best. Okay, that's more important. Learn at the best and then apply it for a job in a market. So this is how we can proceed further. Okay. So again, there is a question from Pradeep. I think we already answered this question. I am a manual tester having 6 years of experience. Can I move to DevOps showing 3 years of experience in it? Again, how much, Pradeep, you are going to get out of this class, that is more important. If you're getting 100%, then 2 to 3 years is more meaningful. If you are adding something of your own, like creating multiple projects of your own, or with the help of a trainer, creating your Git repository, try to put multiple things which you have developed over there into your GitHub and showcase this into your resume. So I don't think so 3-4 years would be very tough for you. But average people are showing 1.5 to 2 years, but depending upon how much they can able to gain it, they can apply 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want. But ultimately, knowledge is more important rather than faking a fake experience. Knowledge is very important. So you should be knowledgeable enough to convince an interview that you have done something great. That's all required. Okay, guys, do you have any other questions? There's a question from Amol. People are saying that you firstly go with AWS, then it is easy to go with DevOps. So see, there is nothing, Amol, there is nothing which is you should require. There's nothing something like which is you require. AWS is just a platform, like Linux is a platform. So if I want to run a Java program, if I want to learn, if you want to run the Python program, I required either a Microsoft Windows or either I required a Linux. Same thing. We don't have any dedicated server with us because we can't afford it. It's a very costly servers we have. So what we have a cloud. We have a cloud where we can able to install these these tools pretty easily. So AWS and Azure and GCP are nothing more than the platform for you. We are not going to use their highly recommendable services. We are not going to use a Redshift. We are not going to use a different kind of a services, which is for ETL databases of AWS. We only require the platform for installing our DevOps tool. So that's all thing required. So it's not a prerequisite. AWS is not a prerequisite. AWS is just a platform. And yes, at Ethans, we provide complimentary along with DevOps, a basic understanding of a AWS, not a complete course, a basic understanding. I think 1 or 2 services will be a part of it, where you can able to create your um, uh, create your profile over there in AWS and creating your tools over there on top of it. So we are already covering it as a part of a session. There's a question from Sanjay. So what is the course fee? Sanjay, the cost of this course is 17,500 when you're talking about an offline classes, which we are running on different branches. But online, we are not yet decided what should be the online cost for this course, because we are going to provide you multiple offers after this online as well. So not yet decided how much it will be cost for you, but yes, it will be very competitive. Anu, there's a question from Anup. I think Prakash, you can answer this question. Are we going to cover both AWS and Azure training in this DevOps?
Most of this, I mean, we will try to, you can say, implement all these things on AWS cloud, and for Azure, so we'll be having one CI/CD pipeline on the Azure, and but most of the services we'll try to do on AWS cloud.
Okay. So Anup, I just answer this question. This is a very open-ended question, whether we are covering AWS and Azure training in DevOps. See, we have a certification course for AWS and certification course for Azure. Definitely, we cannot include both AWS certification as well as Azure certification in DevOps, which is not feasible. The role of AWS and Azure here is to install your tools on the top of these platforms. Along with that, AWS is also providing a CI/CD and Azure is also providing a CI/CD. So give the introductory part of it, how we can able to build CI/CD using AWS and Azure. That's the whole intention of this course. It's not like that when you are covering DevOps, you can able to clear the certification of AWS, because we have a separate course for it, which covers almost 25 services in AWS and almost 12 services in Azure. So there's a separate course. In DevOps, we discuss about the platform, how to use this platform to install these tools and use these tools into day-to-day basis. That's whole the idea of DevOps course. Okay. So there's a question from Pankaj. Will you provide the notes, projects, recording of all these sessions and code to the student? Yeah, obviously, Pankaj. This is, of course, we are going to provide all the notes, which is definitely a soft copy, not a hard copy. Projects through the GitHub. Recordings, yes, for the online classes. Recording, yes, for the offline classes. We are not providing the recordings. If you are joining the online classes, then only we can provide the recording. And yes, all codes will be shared through GitHub. That's what we have a program on GitHub which focus on this. Well, you're welcome, Anup. Okay, I am loving these questions. So if you have more questions, you can interact with me, guys. Prakash is also online. Again, Neeraj, it's a repeated, Prakash, there is a repeated question from Neeraj. Do you cover Python programming language in the DevOps course? So Neeraj, again, I say, we are not covering Python programming. Python is very, very big. A basic introduction of Python, which is how to import a module and how to use these modules into configuration. That's all need to be covered. If you are looking Python as a programming, we have a separate course and we have a demonstration class at 12 p.m. for Python as well. So if you want to understand what Ethans is offering in a Python program, we have a demonstration class at 12 p.m. Join it, understand how this program is different from DevOps. In DevOps, the basic introduction of Python, like how to import a modules and how to use Python for a configuration, that's all will be covered. Okay. But if you really want to become a complete stack, then as I said before, you have to cover any cloud environment, then DevOps, then Python, then you will be ready. In a very, very great way, you have an understanding of an each and everything available in DevOps to build a CI/CD. Neeraj, does this answer your question? So I already sent an email yesterday to everyone for Python. In fact, I can also share it after the class. So if you want to join Python demonstration today, Microsoft Azure today, and AWS tomorrow, so you can join the same. There is a question from Puneet. Freshers would also be in a batch. Yes, Puneet, we have a very mixed crowd, starting from fresher college students to almost 24 to 25 years of IT professionals. So we are welcoming each and everyone in the class. Now the course is designed in such a way, even somebody from a non-technical background can also able to understand this technology pretty good. So this is how it works actually. So even we have seen that in freshers, there is a lot of demand. One of our client, it is in Baner, they require almost 30 DevOps professional last year. In 2019, they almost hired 30 DevOps professional from us. Unfortunately, all are freshers. So demand is huge. In fact, for freshers, in fact, being a Python trainer, I understand that DevOps is basically bringing the evolution to an IT industry. So what was Linux in 1995? Na, same thing as DevOps is happening from 2015 onwards in IT industry, and I've seen that most of my clients have introduced DevOps into their projects, and this is gonna be a huge. So if you can able to upgrade yourself on time, it will be a great beneficial thing for you. Okay, guys, we are waiting for the questions. If you have any questions, just raise it up, or otherwise, if you don't have any question, we can wrap up the session then. No question? That's wonderful. If you have no question, then it means that we could have. There is a question, very interesting question from Shirish. Is there is any age limit to a professional in DevOps? Shirish, there is no age limit. I have seen the people who is one of my client. He is from US. His name is Aaron Rothman. He is almost 52 years of age and he is working in DevOps. So age is just a number. As in love as well, age is just a number. So in technology also, age is just a number. So how much old you are, I'm not sure, but definitely you can able to uh, work on DevOps at any age. Okay. Any more question? I wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. If you don't have any question, then we can wrap up then. Okay. And after this class, I will send an email which mention about the demonstration classes gonna be happening today and tomorrow, so you guys can join it accordingly. No more questions? Okay, that's fine. Then what we can do is we can wrap up the session. If you have any more questions, I drop an email to you along with the slides. So you can raise a question and ask me whenever you require. Okay. So Prakash, do you have anything to share again?
No, Jatin, yeah, I'm good. So,
All seems good.
yes.
Chalo, thank you so much for your time, Prakash, as well as other people. I hope you enjoy this session, and Prakash try to answers multiple questions over the chat. But still, if we miss something, we are very sorry about it. I hope that these questions I will receive through an email, and we get in touch with each other in future as well. Okay. So thank you everyone for your time, and stay safe, stay at home. Okay, and do something great. Utilize your time to learn something during this quarantine period, and do something good. That's it. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. I see you soon in next session at 12 p.m. for Python. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you all. Yeah.